Hey, good morning and welcome to Northridge Game Day. We're coming to you live today from the Springbrook campus. Along with Jim Richmond, I'm John Oakley, and today we're going to be talking about all of the latest news and breaking down the hottest plays. You know, Jim, this is my favorite time of year. You know, we've waited all summer for this, but now groups are finally starting back up. There's been a lot of speculation about who will be leading each team and which players will be signed by each team, but all that's kind of settled in, and all that's left to do is just break it down team by team.
Yeah, and we're going to do that for you today. We're going to break down the entire league, but before we do that, let's roll back, take a look at the preseason, and let's take a look at the biggest highlights from the August 30th Campus Championships.
Well, early on, Tim Lunnon's cornhole team was on fire, but in the second round, they ran into the eventual champions. But the Oakley Wainwright team was able to salvage third place.
Springbrook had to settle for second on the sand despite some amazing plays like this one. But in the end, there were just too many like this.
Springbrook dominated in Ultimate Frisbee, cruising to an undefeated record. West Market tried to bring a more physical game to throw them off their rhythm, but in the end it was not enough. This is clearly pass interference. In fact, the league is looking into possible suspensions.
But the real drama took place on the kickball diamond. At the end of the night, Springbrook only needed to finish in second to wrap up the campus championships. After a shaky start, thank you very much, Springbrook fell to gray but secured second place and the championship.
Before we go to the final standings, let's take a look at the play of the night. This young man from Irwin hustles to back up his teammate, and it pays big. Look at that again in slow motion.
So here's how things wrapped up. Springbrook finishes with 23 points and Gray shocks the league, finishing second with 20. West Market only needed to win in kickball to wrap up the championship but falls all the way to third. And while Irwin finished second in cornhole, third in volleyball, and ultimate frisbee, they ended up on the outside looking in.
All right, I'm going to be honest, a few players looked a little bit rusty out there, but that's to be expected this time of year, but I do see a ton of potential. Hey, stick around, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
A light in the darkness, a city on a hill. Jesus entrusted the church to continue his teaching, to equip his people to be disciples, and to make disciples. There's no greater mission. We love the church, and that's why we've created Right Now Media. In this busy, mobile, noisy world, Right Now Media is a resource to help cut through the distractions that hinder consistent growth and discipleship. When your church subscribes to Right Now Media, every member gets free access to a huge library of video Bible studies, over 10,000 streaming video sessions from more than 150 Christian publishers and ministries, available anytime, anywhere. We've got stuff for small groups, youth groups, personal devotion, Bible studies on marriage, parenting, finance, and leadership, and a ton of high-quality, safe biblical kids material. We want to help you equip and unleash everyone in your church for the glory of God, to be a light in the darkness, a city on a hill. Because we love the church, and the mission of the church matters.
Hey, welcome back to Northridge Game Day. This morning we are breaking down the teams for this upcoming season, and let's begin with the casserole division. There are a ton of extremely talented teams in this division, beginning with my hometown team, the Honeymooners. And Maddie has been with this team all preseason. She's actually with them now. Let's check in with Maddie right now to get the latest from the Honeymooners.
Hey, thanks guys. I'm here with Justin, one of the key parts of the Honeymooners group. Justin, you guys had a really big night tonight. Tell us a little bit about the keys to success for your group.
Some of the keys to success is the food is always bringing a lot of people in. The veterans, John's been a veteran for a long time in the Honeymooners group. He brings a lot of leadership. We've got some new talent coming in. That's going to be really important. It's actually going to, make our group even bigger and better and stronger. It's just all those things together just help us make the Honeymooners even stronger.
All right, well, food and new talent and veterans, that's all it takes. Back to you guys.
Well, one of the surprising bright spots this year is the college group. There's been a coaching transition there. A lot of people were unsure about that, but what we're finding is this group proves to be probably one of the best contenders of the league again this year. Stephen Mulligan cut his teeth coaching in the middle school division and is ready to take the step forward.
All right, next up is the expansion team that everyone is talking about. This team has picked up a ton of talent in the preseason, and they've even added a proven leader in Robert Kell. Robert has a ton of experience, and he has had a tremendous amount of success in the past. A lot of times you think about an expansion team, it takes a while for them to find their rhythm, but I believe that this team is built to win beginning in week 1. This team meets on Sunday nights during the middle school group time, and I just believe that makes them the perfect fit for families in that stage of life.
Hey, let's not forget, let's not sleep on the on-the-move teams as well. Brad Olin heads up the team that has preschoolers. Chris Blair heads up the team that has more elementary kids. Both of these teams have been consistent winners throughout the years, and they both really understand the importance of having a team around them as they raise their kids.
That brings us to this week's Player Spotlight. Jeremy Wainwright has found that a team can be so much more than just a group of individuals who study together. Let's take a look at his story.
I'm Jeremy. I've been going to Northridge for about 3 years, and this is what community groups mean to me. Let's see, I started community group around 2.5 years ago. I started with the Honeymooners. I'm currently still in the Honeymooners small group. Right before I started, I guess I didn't know much about small groups in general, never really been in an environment where small groups were part of the experience. So they were really new to me, and I was invited to come to the Honeymooners group. And at first, I guess I was somewhat reluctant, because when you hear Honeymooners and you're a single guy in your mid-30s, it's not really a place where you think you would feel really comfortable. However, I went, and I felt really, really comfortable there. As a matter of fact, the first community group that we ever did, John Oakley was the leader of the group, and or led the group, and he mentioned something about doing devotionals, and from that day on, ever since, devotions have been a part of my everyday life. Just from that simple challenge of the first small group that I was in. As I continued to grow spiritually, day in and day out, these people just mean so much to me. These people are my family, truly are my family. I've always heard people talk about church family, but I don't know if I ever really understood what family truly is, until I really started doing life with these people. We cry together, we laugh together, we serve together, and it's such just a wonderful thing to feel like I'm part of this team, this group. It's great to be part of the team.
Hey, welcome back. This crowd is amazing. They've been like this all day. And this morning we're taking a look at the teams for the upcoming season. We've looked at the casserole division. Now let's turn our attention to the crock pot division.
Not to be outdone, this division has its own expansion team as well. The ladies group is coming into this division looking very, very strong this year. Amy Blankenship will be heading up that team, and she has been known to bring the W's as an outreach coordinator, and it looks like she may be even stronger as a group coach.
All right, that brings us to the team that shines on Friday nights. The TGIF group has a roster that is so deep that they've even been discussing an expansion team of their own. This team has been winning consistently with adults with teenagers for years, and I just don't see anything stopping them this season.
Well, while the TGIF group may own Friday nights, one team is set to own Monday nights this year. The MNF group, Monday Night Friends group, headed up by Scott Galpin, is going to come in strong this year, particularly in the area of people whose kids are moving out of the house or have headed off to college.
All right, rounding out the crock pot division are the 2 Tuesday night live groups. Now these groups bring a ton of energy on Sunday morning, so I can only imagine what it's like on Tuesday nights. Both of these rosters are packed with veterans, and that puts them among the best in the league season after season. Well, there you have it. That's your team-by-team breakdown. Stick around because after the break, we'll be back with some bold predictions for you. Alright, we are back and we're just moments away from kickoff, but as we wrap things up this morning, we're going to play a little bit of over-under and make a few predictions. So Jim, I want to start with you. Let's talk about the Tuesday Night Live group. Number of joint replacements, over or under 3?
Wow, I feel like that if you're on one of those teams or if you're a fan of one of those teams, you got to be pretty optimistic this year. Because most of the joints that I feel like were really in question were taken care of last year. So I'm going to go under 3 this year.
I think under 3 as well.
Yeah, the next category we've got is over under 4 on the on-the-move groups. How many babies will be born this year? Over or under 4?
I'm going to go over 4. In fact, I think it's going to be way over 4. I actually believe that the Olin family alone will have quintuplets this year.
Oh, bold prediction.
So we're looking at a minimum of 9 babies for the on-the-move group.
Man, good year for those groups.
All right, next up we have the newlyweds. I want to ask you about average weight gain for the newlyweds. Would you say over or under 10 pounds?
Man, that's a tough question. I'm gonna have to say over, and here's why. Because you're in that phase of life where you kind of settle in, you start kind of making a home there, and something just happens and you tend to put a little bit on. But I think the key factor, I think the X factor in all of this is Allie Wainwright's cooking at the brew time. I feel like that unless she gets traded, I feel like as long as she's on the team, I gotta go over on that.
Completely agree. They do a lot of training with their kickball and volleyball, but it's just not enough to overcome those problems.
I don't think it is. The last category is over/under on fender benders in the student group. We haven't talked a lot about the student group, but it's a huge division for us. But they're also novice drivers. So over or under 5 fender benders this year in the student group.
5. Okay, I'm going to go under, and here's why. We have a lot of great parents in the network who have been training these young drivers. And I just think it's going to be under, and to be completely honest, we can't afford for offerings to go down because car insurance rates are going up.
Insurance rates are going up. Yeah, that's true. I appreciate your optimism on that, especially as a person who is having an upcoming new driver yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, there you have it. It's time for the kickoff. Thanks for being with us on Northridge Game Day.